All right, in today's video, I wanted to cover the MFCI indicator and how you guys can get your hands on this thing. This thing is a really cool indicator, and what it does is it is going to be showing you pretty much the best time to get into dip buying opportunities, right? And it will also show if the market is severely overbought or not as well. So we literally just hit all-time highs. So something like this, you're not really going to be seeing any kind of red rate now, but this is a great tool to have on your charts to kind of just be prepared when he inevitably does pull back at some point, because markets always do. You can kind of get into those best opportunities to buy. And what I want, the biggest thing with this indicator is that I want to invite you to the man himself, the creator of this, Manny. And what you'll be able to do is I'm going to show you roughly what this thing will do. So basically, he's saying right now that Pfizer with the MFCI, it flashed red when the price was at 20. And so we now have strong momentum following deal made by the U.S. government. So if you guys don't know, Pfizer just had a pretty big, massive deal with the U.S. government. And so now with his indication, with seeing with the MFCI and what this news brought, he is a big buyer on the chart. He is a big buyer on Pfizer. And I mean, this has been some pretty solid 2 days of buying here on Pfizer. So that's really cool. And essentially, it's awesome because he's going to be integrating this indicator with some knowledge that he has, basically he's been a trader for 25 plus years. He's been around. That is how he supports himself. And so Manny is the kind of guys you want to be following, right? And so I love how he trades, and I love all of his long-term predictions. And he has 4 just ridiculously crazy targets on some different tickers that I even showed you guys yesterday on. But I want to show you just a little bit behind the scenes here, because I always like to do that, of how this thing works. And so he's looking at stuff like QQQ, the IEF, VCIT, VIX, short-term bills, pretty much all this noise, all the stuff that really is behind the scenes and is churning, and it matters, right? And he's going to assign those a score, right? So a level above 1 or below 1, and then 0 is going to be a neutral for that, right? And so, and essentially what it does is you're going to, when you see it green, you're essentially everything's kind of calm, right? And so it's green, it's bullish. When stuff starts to turn negative, the VIX starts to spike. You start to see some crazy stuff in the markets happening. You're going to start to see that thing go down and potentially hit those red zones, like you saw, or like we saw here in April. And you can even use them on the lower time frames. And so essentially this just follows a SPY. So what I like to do is put on SPY chart, and essentially you're just going to kind of just see it as when the markets start to kind of downturn right here, even on the 15-minute chart, you can start to see it starting to go a little bit red there. So this is really cool because you can actually use something like this on the lower time frames as well. Manny recommends the higher the time frame, the better, as far as getting those big solid corrections going on. But you can see right now, and I even have I was mapping out where potentially this market could go. But we are at all-time highs right now. But it's really cool to see this thing and to see just what is able to do, even on these, look at this strong correction, right? We saw this very, very steep drop and a very nice time to buy right here, right? And this was at the exact same moment where if you would have got in there, whether it's, S&P or SPY, calls or pretty much shares, whatever you want. I mean, wow, what a move right there. And it really does a great job of identifying these super strong sell-offs, and then potentially going back to the upside. But again, the daily chart is where he ultimately recommends it. But I've been using on the lower time frames just with some of my other systems, just because I love to trade pullbacks. So, all right, hopefully that was enough information. If you are interested in this, I'm going to have a link below or a button, whatever. You're going to go ahead and check that out. what we're doing is we are combining this with Riptide. And so what is Riptide? So Riptide is where Manny is in here and he is talking about everything you could possibly think of going on. So right now he has some assessment on Chainlink, even a small or a ticker that really not a lot of people are talking about right now, SBET. And that's a pretty cool what he was talking about right there. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this community. It's a small community, and it's a community that we want you to be a part of. So we're going to also invite you to that as well. So you can get the indicator, you can get the community, and there's a bunch of other cool bonuses with that. And I put the description of that as well. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check it out, and we'll see you guys